Every few months, Sony presents a new top smartphone in autumn 2016, it's the Xperia XZ. In our test, it faces a tough rivalry because Google and Samsung are also offering some strong competition. In our detailed test, we look at whether Sony has not only revived the Z, but also whether it has become a worthy successor to the X performance. Sony has visibly altered its design with the Xperia XZ. The top and bottom sides are both flat, while the edges on the right and left are completely rounded. The individual components blend together almost seamlessly, but the Xperia XZ does not have a unibody construction. The front is dominated not just with the display, but also with the Sony logo on the top and the stereo speakers. The empty bezel areas above and below the display are quite large. The headset jack is located at the top, while the bottom side has a standard USB Type-C connector port. As is always the case with Sony, the fingerprint sensor is located in the side power button. If you press it, you will see the lock screen shift to the left and open up the home screen. In our test, the sensor was quite reliable, but occasionally, it took several attempts to recognize a fingerprint. The arrangement of the volume rocker and the separate camera button takes some getting used to. These are located exactly where right-handed people would probably hold the XZ, namely on the lower right. This was not a haptic problem in our tests, but our verdict was that it was just uncomfortable to control the volume. Sony has equipped the Xperia XZ with a 5.2-inch display with full HD resolution. It's unlikely that anyone will miss the Quad HD except perhaps those who are more VR dependent. However, those users are more likely to grab a Samsung or Daydream certified smartphone. Sony does not offer much in this area. In the test, the XZ's display proved to be really good. The white color appears very precisely as white but comes across as slightly yellow when directly compared with the Galaxy S7. The XZ also does well with black tones, but the background lighting of the display is visible upon closer inspection. Technically, this is difficult to avoid and it is not disturbing. Surprisingly, the XZ shows a completely red image more powerfully than the AMOLED display of the Galaxy S7. There is less of a difference in the representation of the other basic colors blue and green. Overall, that display of the Xperia XZ is very good and directly competes with the Galaxy S7. The maximum brightness of the XZ is bright enough to ensure good readability, even in daylight. The appearance of Android 7.0 Nougat, Sony is no longer be able to claim to have the latest Android version pre-installed on its devices. The Sony Xperia XZ uses Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. In any case, an update to Android 7.0 Nougat may be available in October. Sony told us that the Nougat source code arrived too late in the development phase. After all of the available updates were installed on our test device, we have in the middle of October a smartphone with a July 1, 2016, security patch, whereas, for example, the Galaxy S7, whose update has just arrived, was released on the 1st of October. Here, we can confidently say that more frequent software maintenance on Sony's behalf would be desirable. As usual from Sony, the appearance of the user interface is carefully crafted. The system settings, in particular, have a distinctive look, designed with icons. Other than that, the allocation of a home screen and app drawer is maintained. Visually, the notifications bar is similar to stock Android. In the Xperia Lounge app, Sony offers design packages that allow you to change the navigation bar and the home screen wallpaper. The main camera has a resolution of 23 megapixels, with which Sony bucks the trend toward lower resolution image sensors. But this news can't be that bad because some features ensure that the camera provides high-quality images. The autofocus works by anticipating subject movement, which should make it easier for sharp focus when photographing a moving subject. In addition, the electronic image stabilization ensures a less shaky video. Video recording of up to 4K resolution is possible. Many camera features are already familiar from previous generations of Xperia smartphones. Sony has incorporated an additional sensor for ambient light. This measures the color temperature of incidental light and thus offers better adjustment to the white balance. This function sounds very useful, but it was barely noticeable in our test. Selfie fans can be happy with the front-facing 13-megapixel snaps. This should fall in the mid-range level for main cameras. The focal length of the lens is 22 mm, 35 mm equivalent. With that, the lens is considered wide-angle. In fact, selfies with the Xperia XZ look really good. The Sony Xperia XZ has front-facing stereo speakers. Music players can look forward to the reduced risk of hands covering the sound output. However, only mediocre sound quality is offered. The Xperia XZ lacks bass, and at higher volumes, the sound is tinny and slightly distorted. Phone calls get their sound thanks to HD voice. Voice over LTE does not exist, unfortunately, although it would have helped to support our test SIM card.